Welcome, folks. My name is Tom Beatty. I am the chair of the Web Design and Development program at Newmont College of Computer Science, and today we're going to learn about Express using node.js.
Okay, so in the last video, we went ahead and we created a new project. I'm actually going to go through that again real quickly, just so that it sticks in your mind well. npm init. I'm going to give it a new name. We'll call it Express Demo. Maybe put your name in there. And that's created our package.json. npm install Express. That's going to create our node packages and add Express as a dependency in the package.json. Boom, there we go. Now, then we just need to create a const express equals require express to load in our module. Const port equals 3000. Const app to set up our Express app. And now app.get. We've got our function that we're passing in here. It's all set up, and we will respond with hello world. Okay, and I'm going to do an app.get for, before I had howdy, let's do hello. I think I'm going to make it lowercase usually. People use lowercase in URLs. So request response response.send, and I'm going to use backticks here and say hello. And the reason I'm going to use backticks is because I want to be able to plug in some sort of variable, and that variable we're going to get as a query. And so with a query, we'll say let I'm just going to put a Q there for query equals rec.query. And so you're probably wondering, where does this query thing come from? And we're passing in this query into Q. And so I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it in a variable here. We've got Q, and we'll say .name. And maybe while we're at it, I'm going to console log Q, which is going to be our rec.query. Let's see what this does. Now, we still need an app.listen at the end. And we're listening to the port, which is 3000. We need to get it up and running. Easiest way to do that is type in nodemon. And now I can go to my local host, :3000. It says hello world. If I do /hello, it says hello undefined. And it's looking for something that is rec.query.name, or since we made rec.query, we put that into q.name. And so I can add in a query string onto this URL. So I could do $name equals Bob. Hit enter. And it's reading this variable, this name variable, and it's popping it in to my hello. So I've got hello Bob. And I could just as easily do hello Fred, hello Sally, and maybe there's a space there. Domains, when you put in a URL rather, you don't normally have spaces, so what you can do here is you put a plus instead of a space. Sally Smith. Hello, Sally Smith. So that works, and we're able to read that information directly from here. And you can put in other variables too. I could say, put an ampersand and say age equals 32. And now the age equals 32 doesn't actually show up because we're not doing anything with q.age. But if you look at the console log, it is passing in an object that has the name and the age. And so that's a query string, and you can actually use that information through Express. Okay, so another thing we could do is we can read what's known as parameters, or params. And I'm going to say / goodbye. If someone goes to localhost :3000 / goodbye / name, then we can say request response let p equals rec.params response.send goodbye $p : name. And now params are a little bit different than queries because they're actually part of the URL. They become part of the path. So one thing that makes params different than queries is params actually come in as part of the URL. There's no question mark, there's no variable that you need to define. It's part of the URL. So if we go localhost :3000 / goodbye / whatever, that's going to become our params name. So let's take a look at that. So we save it, and let's go to localhost 3000 goodbye / Suzette. And it says goodbye Suzette, and it's actually getting that from this URL. So Harry. So it's essentially dynamically creating this route. Okay, now this is looking a bit untidy at the moment. So I want to clean it up. And the easiest way to do that is I'm going to create a routes folder. And inside that routes folder, I'll create a new file, routes.js. I'm going to come back to my index.js and set it up so that it's actually reading information from our routes folder. And so I will say const routes equals require / routes / routes.js. And so this is saying go ahead and read the information from routes.js. Now I need to create some functions. And so the first function I'm going to create is going to be, normally I could do a const index equals request response, and then put my response.send in here, which I think was hello world. But this won't make it accessible outside of this file. What I need to do is change this to exports, period. And now it will be accessible here. And so it loads in all of the contents from routes.js that have the exports in front of it will load into routes. So I can now replace this entire function with routes.index. And if I save that and I go to localhost :3000, it says hello world. It still works. And so I can clean all of this up a whole lot. So maybe I want a hello function and a goodbye function. So exports hello equals request response I really should put a semicolon at the end of these. Exports goodbye equals request response. And then I can take the contents from each of these. So I'll take that, paste it in there, and go to my goodbye. Paste it in there. And I can replace this with routes.hello. Routes.goodbye. Whole lot tidier and does exactly the same thing. So you can see here, if I go to /hello, use a question mark for a query, put in a name, Bob, that still works. Or I can say goodbye / and use params to say Fred, goodbye Fred. Okay, so that's an easy way to work with queries and params and tidy everything up into a nice routes folder. Alright, if you like this video, please hit subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. I will provide more content in the future and keep it entertaining for you. Thanks a lot.